Good Friday afternoon, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and I'm here with some cruise news for you on this Friday afternoon, the 1st of March, February done and gone. So time to start March off with some cruise news, and I got 3 stories for you today. First up, we're going to talk a couple of stories about Royal Caribbean. Now, first, Royal Caribbean, they're talking about adding a 3rd dining time in the main dining room. That's a set dining time. Currently, they have 2 main dining times, either 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock. And this is for traditional style dining. You go in, you sit down at the same table each and every night. You get the same servers each and every night. Different than my time dining when, yep, you can go whenever you want to go during dinner hours, but you get the table that's available, you get the wait staff that is available. And my time dining, it's a very popular choice. A lot of people like it, but there's also a lot of people that like the traditional style dining. They like being at the same table. They like being with the same groups of people, and they like to be with the same service team. Now, according to Royal Caribbean, while people like the traditional dining, a lot of people said, 5 o'clock is a little too early. 8 o'clock, it's just a little too late. So Royal Caribbean has been testing out a new middle dining time. They've been testing it on Wonder of the Seas. They've been testing it on Icon of the Seas. And based on guest feedback, how it all tests out, they say that this new dining time should be roughly between 6:30 and say 7:15. They haven't fully ironed out the exact time yet. It's really going to depend on how all of the testing goes. Once all that is completed, all that data is compiled, they're going to begin to roll it out to the fleet, and they say by the end of the year, you should see that 3rd dining option available on all of Royal Caribbean ships. But what do you guys think? Do you think they need a new 3rd traditional style dining? Do you prefer anytime dining, or maybe you don't eat in the MDR at all? Me personally, I'm a my time dining fan. I just like the ability that when I'm hungry, that's when I can go to dinner. Not real fond of the set dining times, simply because I just may not be hungry at that specific time. I really want to go when I want to go. Royal Caribbean has also announced for their brand new cruise ship coming out, Star of the Seas. It's going to be the 2nd in the Icon class series. Well, the inaugural sailings, they've been canceled. They're saying the ship is just not going to be ready on time. Now keep in mind, this is still about 17 months away before the inaugural sailing is even supposed to have happened, but they're already saying, look, it's not going to be enough time. The ship is not going to be ready. We're going to have to cancel some cruises. Now, the original inaugural sailing was scheduled for August the 17th of 2025. Like I said, been canceled. The cruise after that has also been canceled, and the inaugural sailing has now been moved to August 31st of 2025. And like I said, this is 17 months away, so guests have options. They can switch to another Royal Caribbean sailing. They can move to the new August 31st sailing of Star of the Seas, or they have the option for a full refund if none of those dates work for them. But this is something that we are starting to see a little more often. We just saw this with Princess Cruise Lines and the Star Princess. They had an inaugural sailing date. They had it all done, booked, people ready to go on their vacation. And the first couple of sailings for the Star Princess, they got canceled because the ship wasn't ready. And I get it from the cruise line's point of view. You spent all this money building a cruise ship. You want to get it out there. You want to get passengers on board. You want it to start making money. But at the same time, you got to probably put a schedule in. Give enough time for the ship to be ready, the ship to be checked, the ship to be tested. A lot of times on the inaugural sailings, you'll still hear of things that are not ready. Not every show is happening. Not every facility is open and ready to go on the ship. They're still doing last minute things, trying to figure out why last minute things don't work. That's pretty common on inaugural sailings as it is. So maybe the cruise line should be giving a little bit more time, a couple extra weeks from what they think it's going to be done to make sure these ships are ready before they book passengers. Because look, it's just not good business for a cruise line to put out an itinerary, to say the ship is going to be ready, and then to have to come behind and start canceling cruises in what really looks like just to be a rush to get the ship into service. And finally, Bar Harbor, Maine. They have been trying, they've been putting in their own legislation, making their own rules to limit cruise ship passengers that can go into Bar Harbor all at the same time. They want that number to be at 1,000 passengers per day, no more. Well, this case has made it up to the U.S. District Court there in Maine, and the judge has upheld Bar Harbor's legislation, saying that they can limit cruise passengers to only 1,000 people per day. Now, a survey that was done in 2021 there in Bar Harbor kind of showed that the community there thought that cruise tourism had a negative impact in the area. They said 55% of the residents in Bar Harbor viewed cruise tourism negatively, and 53% said that cruise tourism affected the quality of their lives. So according to the survey, the majority of people there in Bar Harbor just don't have a positive outlook on cruising and the number of passengers that cruises bring to their town. Now, the original referendum started back in 2022, always had this going into effect here in 2024. Now it's been upheld by the federal court, meaning it is going to go into effect, and there are cruise ships scheduled to go there here in 2024 that will be affected in some way. The Norwegian Gem is the first ship scheduled this year to go there on May the 2nd, carries over 2,300 passengers. Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas carries over 3,100 passengers. And there are additional Royal Caribbean ships, there are Holland American ships, there are Princess ships, all scheduled to visit Bar Harbor in 2024. So what is this going to mean for these ships? Because all of them carry more than 1,000 passengers, which means cruise lines are only going to have two choices. Either they're going to limit the number of people that can disembark the ship in that port. So you got 2,000 or 3,000 people or more on your ship. I don't know, what do you hold a lottery to say, okay, because only you 1,000 people can get off the ship? That's probably not going to happen. The more realistic option is that cruise lines are going to begin skipping Bar Harbor. They're going to simply stop going there. So if you have any upcoming cruises for 2024 and beyond that are scheduled to go to Bar Harbor, look, keep an eye on your cruise itinerary, because as these new rules go into effect, as the cruise lines take a look at what their choices and options are, more than likely expect an itinerary change, expect Bar Harbor to stop being a stop for these larger cruise ships, because really, they can't pick and choose which passengers are going to get off the ship and which passengers just have to stand at the railing and watch because of the new ordinances. And now that this has been held up in district court, and I'm sure it will go higher up into the court system, but now that it's been held up in district court, are we going to see any other cruise ports here in the United States, example, Key West, Florida, pushing harder to limit cruise ship passengers? All right, and that's going to be our cruise news video for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.